Hi guys, so today we'll be doing a review of these two great machines. So the first one here is Lenovo ThinkPad X280, as you can see from the model. Then the second one here is Lenovo ThinkPad X240, as you can see right there. So these are two great machines that have been bought so many times. In fact, they are some of the most popular laptops in the market, Lenovo ThinkPad series, yeah. So these are X240 and X280. So one thing about Lenovo X series is that whenever a new generation comes in, for example, if you have this X240 here, then it means this is a 4th gen laptop. Yeah, so the one that I have here is Core i5. You can see here it's a Core i5 machine from 4th generation. Then if you see X280 like this one, then it means it's a 8th gen Lenovo ThinkPad X series. Yeah, and the one I have here, it's a Core i7. You can see there it's 8th gen. So these two laptops are 4 generations apart. And in this video, we want to do a review of these two great machines. We get to compare them and see maybe if one of you owns the Lenovo ThinkPad X240, what are you missing and what are some of the advantages that you have over the one that is using X280. And if one of you owns Lenovo ThinkPad X280, what are the advantages of it over X240? Is it worth upgrading from X240 to X280? Yeah, I know you might be coming to a conclusion that definitely it's worth upgrading because X280 has its over latest generation compared to the X240. But trust me, in this video you're going to realize that X240, even though it's older, it has some advantages over Lenovo ThinkPad X280. So just before we get into a review, I have these tools that you're going to use here. If you use this channel, you know what these tools are for. You're going to use them definitely in the later stages of this video. And if you're new to this account and you're liking the review so far up to this point, kindly don't forget to leave a like for this video, and don't forget to subscribe to this account, because this is where you get the real comparison, the real deal, unscripted. Yeah, so first and foremost, let's just have a look at the sizes of these two machines before we get into the interior features of these two laptops. Let's get to have a look at the body material, the casing, and the rest. So as you can see from these two machines, the X240 is of different color to the X280. Yeah, and despite the color, there's something that is different. You can't get to see it from the pictures, but on the X240 we have a magnesium fiber casing here, yeah, of a different color material, while here we have a magnesium cover material of black, yeah, and it feels so solid compared to the one on X240. Very, very solid on top. On the bottom cover, we have the same material, just as in the X240, yeah. And you see now on the X280, we have just a small ventilation here for the fan, and an outlet just right here at this point. While on the X240, we have ventilations all over, which is great because our machines need a lot of ventilations for cooling to avoid overheating. But you might say that in the X280, they just built the single inlet and outlet because it's an advanced system. So maybe they didn't need to put so many ports or inlets of airflow into the machine compared to the ones that we have on the X240, because they also come with a disadvantage. The more inlets we have here, the more ports we have for dust to get into the laptop. And at the bottom, we realize that we have this removable battery here on the X240, which is lacking on the X280. So that means on the X240, according to by design, in the next part of this video, you'll see what's in. But by design, it comes with two batteries. We have the outer battery and another inbuilt battery. While on the X280, you only have a single battery inside. So it means, and from research, you realize that the battery on the X240 was way better because the two batteries, they last so long compared to the one on the X280, despite it being latest model. We have these grips here, which are so important for a laptop to have, and you see even on the X280. So the grips on the X240 are better. Let me just put it on the table. If you put it on the table this way, you realize that the height, I don't know if it is visible from this side, but we have that distance, that travel distance, the distance in between these two hinges where there's inflow of air below the laptop. before it gets exhausted through the outer ports here. So there's a proper inflow of air below the laptop on the X240 compared to the X280. So much has been said about that. Let's now have a look at the ports, side-by-side comparison of the ports. So I'll just put them on top of the other. Yes, there you go. So on the right hand side, as you can see in terms of port, on the right hand side, we have the first machine here. The first one is Lenovo ThinkPad X240. The second one is X280. So on the right hand side, we have this Ethernet port. Yeah, this is the Kingston lock. Both machines, they have the Kingston locks. Yeah. Then on the X240, we have this memory card slot here. We have a SIM card slot here on the X280, on the X240, sorry. Then we have USB 3.0 port here, audio jack. While on the X280, we have a single USB 3.1 port here. Then we have the ventilation. Then we have this smart card reader port, which is not as important because I know most of you rarely use this port here. So on this other side, on the X280, we don't have so many ports, yeah, as compared to the number of ports we have on the X240. So on this side, let me just change it to this side. So this side is where it gets interesting. So on the X240, we have this Lenovo USB yellow pin charging port, the older one. Then we have VGA port. We have another USB 3.0 port here. Then we have this port here on the X240. I know, okay, for those who know the function of this port or what this port is called, you can add in the comment section. I'm not going to comment about it, yeah. Then on the X280, so this is so interesting. We have Thunderbolt port here, USB-C Thunderbolt port right here. We have another USB-C Thunderbolt port on this side. So then we have USB 3.0 port here. You have HDMI port and audio port. So in terms of port, you realize that the X280 has so many ports, and the traditional ports, it's so advanced in terms of port compared to the ports on X280. So in terms of port, the X280 wins because you need a USB-C currently, and something good with the USB-C charging port, like the one on the Lenovo ThinkPad X280, it supports fast charging. So this machine can charge so fast, you can get it to 50% within the next 30 minutes to charge the Lenovo ThinkPad X280. Again, with the Type-C charger, you can use it to charge your phone if your phone comes with a Type-C charger, as compared to the Lenovo USB-C charger here. So both these two machines, you can use a 65 watts charger on them, 45 watts charger. It depends with the type of charger that you have. So the higher the wattage of the charger, the faster the laptop will charge. So that's how the ports are. And realize something with the edges of these machines. The Lenovo ThinkPad X280 has some more curved edge as compared to the boxy edge that we had on the Lenovo ThinkPad X240. There are some of you like such type of ports, such type of edges, but there are some who like the port on the Lenovo ThinkPad X280. So that's how they are. The hinges at the back almost similar. Now on the Lenovo ThinkPad X280 we have Lenovo ThinkPad X280 we have the SIM card slot right here on the sides, as compared to the one that we had on the Lenovo ThinkPad X240 right on this side on the X240. This is the SIM card slot. So they both support SIM card capabilities, and you can plug your SIM card to the laptop and use it as a network card. So on the inside now, on the keyboard side, as you realize, there's no much big difference here. Yeah, everything looks similar. And one thing we love about Lenovo is the ThinkPad, is the keyboard. You can see how the keyboard yeah, the travel distance is pretty good. Yeah, the feel is so nice, just the same as we have here in the Lenovo ThinkPad X280. The keyboard is so nice. We have the legendary track point in the center, just the same we have here. And the trackpad, just the same we have here, but now I realize we have this center pin on the X280. Yeah, this one, the one on the center. So those who love Lenovo, maybe you can tell us what this is. I know, but I just want you to, in the comment section, to add something about this middle click point. So we have the same situation here, and something good about this trackpad is that they support multi-gestures. Multi-gestures means that you can use just a single hand to do so many stuff, like 2 fingers to drag through the display. I can just show you this through here. Let's Google something on the screen, like blah blah blah, then click accept. So you can use your 2 fingers just to see on the display what happens and what's here. So you can just scroll through using your 2 fingers, scroll. Then you can use your 2 fingers again to zoom. See, multi-gesture support. Again, you can use your 3 fingers. Maybe if you have opened some few tabs, then you want to navigate to a different tab, you can use your 3 fingers just to you can do that, change through different tabs. The same is equal on X240, so there's no much difference in terms of keyboard layout, keyboard feel. Everything is just similar. On the X240, we have a fingerprint sensor right here. You see where the power location is on the X240. Then on the X280, we have power here. The fingerprint is just there. Then something you realize with these 2 machines, they both can flex up to 180 degrees on the table, which I usually find so advantageous, because if you happen to be using your laptop on the table like this, and then somebody just out of nowhere happens to flip on this top part of the screen to the table like this, it won't break as on the other laptops, because it goes up to 180 degrees, as you can see right here. So that's a very good advantage for this laptop. So in terms of security, you've seen we have fingerprint scanner here, and then on the Lenovo ThinkPad X280, something I like about it is that the fingerprint scanner is on the right here on the power button, as compared to the one that we had on the X280, which you had to slide your finger through, and maybe at times it didn't work. So having it here, it's much better than having it right here. And in terms of the screen resolution, I just realized that these 2 machines, despite them being 4 years apart, the screen resolution is just the same. There's no big difference on the one that I have, even though there are some versions that come with higher screen resolution. But the one that I have here, they both have HD screen resolution. So you can just compare here. Let me just get to the screen resolution so that maybe you see something. Just a moment, getting there. So you right click on the screen there, display settings. Yes. So as you can see, the screen resolution here is 1366 by 768. That is HD, similar to what we have on the X240. So the ones that I have, these 2 laptops, they have the same screen resolution despite them being 4 years apart. No big difference. So in terms of the screen bezel, as you can see, both plastic fiber cover on the screen bezel, the same. What is different, as you can see here, is here we have a camera, and we have three microphones. You have these. So it means the sound absorption on these X240 is so good, because we have three microphones, and a camera. Then on the X280, this way it gets too interesting, because we have IR cameras here, IR sensors for security lock. So you can unlock the laptop with your iris or your eye through eye scanning. Then we have the camera. Again, we have the 3 microphones. So that's it's a draw. And again, on the X280, it's advantageous because we have a proximity sensor here. So it means it can detect the distance between you and the laptop, so as to either adjust the brightness and so many stuff while using the laptop. So it has advanced features compared to the features that we have on the X240. In terms of the performance, and maybe for the performance, I usually advise that if you want to know all the properties of your laptop, just click on Control Shift, then Escape, get to the Task Manager. The same thing you're going to do your Control Shift, Escape, get to the Task Manager. So the Task Manager, you just navigate here to the Performance tab. So that's what I'm going to do here. Get to the Performance tab. There you go. Let me just expand it so that you get to see everything clean and fresh here. Yeah. So Performance tab. So just a disclaimer, these 2 laptops are the X280 is Core i7 8th generation, X240 is Core i5 4th generation. So the generation is different, the processor is different, but there's something that is usually makes a big difference in these two laptops, despite the generations and everything. There's this thing we call the number of cores. So as you can see in the X240, we have number of cores being 2 cores and 4 logical processors. Yeah, while on the X280 now, the 8th gen, we have 4 cores and 8 local processors. So it means in terms of multi-performance, multi-threading, or multitasking, the X280 is so much better, or 2 times better than the X240, because we have 2 cores, it's a dual core, while on the X280 it's quad core, we have 4 cores. Yeah, so despite the processors being even, let's say on the X240 we have a base speed of 2.5 gigahertz, but the turbo boost on this machine, it's up to around 3.6, 3.8 gigahertz. But on X280 now, the turbo boost will go up to 4.2 gigahertz or even 4.5 gigahertz, because it has 4 cores. Yeah, and just to show you the processor, as you can see here, we have sorry for the camera, actually I'm using my phone to record these videos, that's why you might get issues with the lens. So yeah, it's behaving. So you have Core 5 4th gen, you can see there. The first digit is the generation, 4th gen, while here we have Core 7 8th gen. The first digit it's the generation, yeah, Core 7 8th gen. So the base speed on the 8th gen is 2.1 gigahertz, while the base speed on the X240 is 2.5 gigahertz. Something interesting about this machine, you realize that the base speed on the X240 is a bit higher than the one on the X280, but this was designed so that while you're using the X280 for browsing and doing some simple stuffs, it won't overheat, because the higher the clock speed, the higher the overheating and the more power it drains from the machine. So that's why they decided to design these latest generation machines with lower base speed, so as to save on energy while doing less demanding tasks, as compared to the X240, which will be operating at a higher base speed while you're doing so light task. Yeah, but on the X240 it can turbo to a higher speed on demanding task, so fast compared to the speed that we have on the X250. In terms of RAM, you see here on the X240 that I have here, we have the number of slots of RAM we have right there. I don't know if it is visible. Let me just try and adjust the camera. Forgive me for doing that. The screen on the X240 is so reflective, that's why we have the issue with the camera lens getting to see the details. It's so reflective as compared to the screen that we have on the X240 that is anti-reflective, so it's easier to see the properties on it. So the RAM on the X240 is you can see the number of slots used here, it's 1 out of 1. So it means you only have a single slot of RAM here on the X240, so you can upgrade it from to 8 GB or 16 GB of RAM, just a single stick. Yeah, it's sodium, so it's replaceable. While on the X280 now, this is so interesting, because let me just get it to the memory. See, on the X280, first of all, just something I forgot here, you see the RAM speed on the X240 is 1600 megahertz, while on the X280 we have 2400 megahertz. Yeah, you can see 2400 megahertz. Then we have number of slots of RAM. We have 2 slots of RAM. Yeah, so 2 slots of RAM. Then it's sodium. Sodium means like the form factor of the RAM, it's RAM that can be replaced. It's not cheap like the ones on the motherboard. So you have 2 slots of RAM, and the ones we have here right now, we have 16 GB of RAM. So it means out of these 2 slots, you have 8 GB of RAM on each slot. So you can upgrade it to 16 GB or even to a maximum of 64 GB, because they are of DDR4 type of RAM. While on the Lenovo X240, you only have a single slot with a lower speed and a DDR3 type of RAM. So generally, Lenovo ThinkPad X280 is a bit faster in performance mode compared to the performance of X240. Yeah, because we are going to see something on the motherboard that makes that difference. And just before I forget, remember these two machines have similar weight. The weight difference is not as big. It's around 0.1 kilograms of difference. 0.1, yeah. So like 100 grams, which is not so big of a difference in terms of weight. So let me show you the internals under the motherboard. What's the difference between these two machines, so that you get to use these tools right here. So in terms of serviceability and upgradability of these two laptops, I love how the bottom cover of the X280 is as compared to the one on the X240, because on the X280 here we have only 5 screws to open. You see, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you only have 5 screws to open before you get to the back cover of the machine. Serviceability, so as to service it in terms of maybe when there's dust. As you can see, the one we have here, so many dust inside, as compared to this one on the X240, because we have so many screws. We have these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and maybe there's one that I've forgotten. So it's so much of work compared to this one. Something before I forget, we have this hole here at the bottom of Lenovo laptops. This bottom just as the same as we have another hole here. These two holes are used to reset the laptop in maybe when there's something we call power surge. So power surge is a scenario whereby you've used your laptop at night, and then in the morning you're trying to turn it on and it's not turning on, especially on the Lenovo laptops. So you just need to get a pin and then long press on it here for like 60 seconds or a minute, and then after long pressing on it, when the laptop is off, after long pressing on it, it will discharge the machine, and then just power it on normally, and it will be up and running normally. So that's something I like about the Lenovo laptops. And if you want to remove these bottom covers after removing the screws, what you do is you lift the lid, these lids, from this lower side, yeah, not this side. You start with this point, remove the lid, just the same with the X240. Try remove the lids from this point as you lift it up to get out like that, yeah. So let me just remove the lid and show you what's on the motherboard. So there you go. This is what's on the motherboard of these two laptops. This is Lenovo ThinkPad X280 motherboard or bottom cover, yeah. Then this is Lenovo ThinkPad X240 bottom. So on the motherboard, as you can see here, we have on the X240, what I was telling you about two batteries. We have this battery that is external, you can remove it on the outside. Then you have this another inbuilt battery, so it can work on this battery when the out one is not available. But on the X240 now, X280, we have a single big battery to compensate for these two batteries, yeah. See here. Then we have the position of the fan. You can see on the X280 we have a bigger fan compared to the smaller fan that we had on the X240. So this helps with proper cooling and ventilation on the X280. And as you can see, this is the processor now. So there's some big differences here. First things first, there are some corrections that I have to make, because I've just opened the X280 bottom cover and I've realized I can't see any RAM here. So it means on the X280 you can't upgrade the RAM. So I'm sorry about that, and maybe in the comment section, if you happen to watch this video up to this point, just comment by saying by accepting my apology. That is, I want to see if most of you reached to this point of the video, because earlier I said that on the X280 you have 2 RAM slots that you can upgrade it up to 64 GB, but I was wrong. I can't see any RAM here. So it means the RAM are on the motherboard. They're somewhere below these black covers. Yeah, they are chips, so you can't upgrade it. The only thing you can upgrade here is SSD. This is the SSD M2 right here. This is the only thing that you can upgrade from 256 to 512 to 1 terabyte, just to your liking. Then we have the network card here, Bluetooth and Wi-Fi card. These two you can upgrade. We have very nice and big speakers here. You can see right there on the X280, and not so many things to say about it. Other things on the motherboard. Then on the X240 now we have a RAM slot here. So it's unfortunate that it can be upgraded to 8 GB of RAM and 16 GB of RAM to the maximum. yes, but it's only a single slot, so it will be good if there were 2 slots. Then we have Wi-Fi card right here. We have this docking station here that is lacking on the Lenovo ThinkPad X280. So the Lenovo ThinkPad X280 comes with a hard disk, which makes it more heavier compared to the X240. See the hard disk on the X240, sorry, the hard disk is right here compared to the X280, because we don't have any space for hard disk, and in fact any hard disk cannot fit here, SATA type of hard disk. So you can upgrade this on the X240 to another SSD that is similar in look and design to this hard disk. We call them SATA 2.5 hard SSD, sorry. Yeah, and the speakers on the X240, you see they are small. This is the speaker on the X240, this. So X280 has good sound quality than the X240. Have a look at the speakers, how big they are. Yes, so much has been said about these two machines. Anything that you feel is missing, anything that you feel is interesting, just add in the comment section, and leave a comment for the next machine that you want us to review, and just do a comparison of it. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you for reaching up to this point of the video and to subscribing to this account, because that's what motivates me. And don't forget to leave a like as usual. See you on the other video. Bye bye.